Hello and welcome. I'm Alex Deroussel. I'm joined here by fellow senior Brooklyne Darby. Brooklyne, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not too bad. As the semester is winding down, we're going to do one final interview here with Brooklyne. So to get you ready for the interview, we're going to give you a few easy questions. I think my favorite one to go with is, what is your favorite type of ice cream?
Favorite type of ice cream? I don't know. I really like frozen yogurt. So it kind of changes with whatever Yogurt has is their seasonal one.
Yeah.
And if not, from a regular ice cream place, then cookies and cream, like Oreo.
Yeah.
Is always a go-to.
Yes, that's been a popular one for people. And then second question, if you could have any dream job in the world, what would that job be?
I want to do clinical psychology research.
Mm-hmm.
So just being in a lab, getting to know some people and kind of understanding how some psychological disorders work. I think that'd be a really fascinating and fulfilling job.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get a PhD. And I wanted to be a psychiatrist, but I don't want to go to school that long. So
that's a lot of school.
Yeah, just bump down a few years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, kind of getting into the episode here a little bit. You are a star volleyball player on a GMC. Is it 5 times in a row? GMC champs? Or six times in a row. Yeah. You've been a part of 4 of those, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so, can you talk to me a little bit about how your experience has gone, from freshman year to senior year in the sport of volleyball?
Yeah. So when I came to Mason, because I came to Mason freshman year, so that was when I walked in the door on the day of tryouts. It was pretty overwhelming. But I quickly got acclimated, and it was really cool to kind of have the influences of a team, being the youngest one on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And, my seniors and all that stuff were super awesome, and my coach was awesome. We actually got a new coach last year, Lindsay Dinkel-Locker. So that was an interesting change.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people get to experience having 2 high school sport coaches because they usually stay
mm-hmm.
the whole time. So that was pretty cool. And she's a ex-collegiate volleyball player. She played at UC, and she's super young. So it was really cool to kind of have that role model and to see my next steps because I want to play in college.
Mm-hmm.
So it was cool and kind of getting to fill into that leadership role of being a senior and being a 4-year starter. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you were also the GMC Player of the Year.
Yes.
Just one of the many accolades to add to your list. Can you talk to me a little bit about how, that all came together? Seems like at the perfect time, being a senior, winning that, and leading your team into the playoffs.
Yeah, so that had been a goal for me since freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard kind of to work up to that because even if sometimes as a freshman, if you do things or it's junior, senior, or junior, sophomore, as a senior, they kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's more fulfilling to get it as a senior because you kind of work up to it.
Yeah.
So, it was really, I don't know, not overdue, but I felt I was waiting for that moment kind of thing.
Yeah, 4 years of hard work, 4+ years of hard work, leading up to high school and getting all that is definitely got to be fulfilling. So changing tracks a little bit, Brooklyne and I are in the same English class,
Yes.
and on the first day of school, or first or second day of class, something was mentioned, and we were doing a get-to-know-you activity, and it came up that Brooklyne is able to teach yoga.
Yes.
So yoga is not something many people our age, do. But you do it, and you can also teach it.
Yeah.
So can you talk to me a little bit about how you got involved and how you kind of progressed to being able to be certified to teach?
Yeah. So I've been practicing for a few years, and I would go sometimes before school even, and I would practice, and then I took a couple years off, and really in quarantine is when I started to go consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Not go, but we would do. They would have live streams.
Okay, yeah.
And I would practice that way. And my mom was super close with the owner of the studio that we go to, and they were having a teacher training, and they said Brooklyne and my mom, they wanted us to do it. And I was like, I don't know. What am I going to do with the yoga teacher certification? But it ended up being somewhere that I could take the time to like take care of my body and like be aware, because you're an athlete, you know, like it's a toll, mentally and physically. So it was really awesome to be able to have like that designated time to kind of understand my body and understand like the mentality, because that's a big thing for me right now. Not as much the physical sense of volleyball, but getting over the mental blocks of the sport. So it kind of is a place that I can be mindful and share that with other people. Like my main goal is to be able to work with other athletes my age and share that understanding with them.
Yeah, and that's, you know, something that a lot of people that, you know, are in yoga, you know, talk about. It's not necessarily just physical or just mental. It's kind of that connection between the two. And I think you mentioned it there. So have you ever thought about, you know, like, have you ever done this, you know, like with your teammates or with, you know, people your age? Because I know you mentioned wanting to do that, but have you actually?
Yeah, so I was lucky that my team was willing to practice with me, and they came to one of my first classes that I taught. So I got to teach to the volleyball team, and they've come to additional classes like over the past 2 years. And even if I'm not teaching, when my mom's teaching, I get to practice with them, which is super awesome. So yeah, I got to teach my team, and I'll occasionally drag people along to class with me. It's at first it's hard, but by the end they usually enjoy it, and it's something that we can laugh about too, because it's not easy.
No. I've had the privilege of practicing a few times, and I can testify to it not being easy. So do you think, you know, one final question kind of on this topic, do you think that you and your mom obviously are close because you guys, you know, spend a lot of time together and you ended up getting certified together. Do you think that yoga has helped bring you guys closer? And if that is the case, how so?
Yeah, I definitely think that it brought us closer. Not just one, because it was a 200-hour course. So
I can see that.
We were together all the time, and me and my mom were both very stubborn people. So it kind of got us to be able to work together in a sense that wasn't like she telling me what to do, because we were both students. So we kind of had to learn to work together and open those communication channels, which was a really cool thing that I know a lot of people don't get to do with their parents. And my dad is also super into yoga too, so it's a pretty fun thing to be able to talk about that with both of my parents. And now it's like a fun thing that we do at my house. Like we'll go through and we'll look at flows together, and we'll write flows, and my mom will be like, what about this transition, and all that stuff. So it's been a nice outlet from school and volleyball to be able to talk about something. So
yeah, well, that's awesome that you have that, you know, kind of connection with both your parents. So looking forward, you know, what is, you know, next for you? College, I know you mentioned wanting to play volleyball. Can you kind of talk me through where you are in the process of deciding?
Yeah, I'm getting towards the end. I haven't made any decisions yet. I'm not gonna name drop any schools. But yeah, we're getting close, and that's the goal, is to play in college and continue my career and get into my academics and do something bigger in the community.
Yeah, and you know, that's awesome to hear. I mean, you're talking about volleyball, you know, kind of bringing the community together with sport. Also, you know, yoga, you know, you can bring the community together through that. And as well as you mentioned earlier, something along the lines of, you know, like the psychology degree and helping others. So I think that speaks to your personality of, you know, just helping other people. And, you know, if we had more people like that in the world would definitely be a better place. So thanks for taking the time to come on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, pleasure. So if you'll be sure to tune in next season as we kick off season 2.